Did you know that 73% of men misinterpret digital communication signals? According to Dr. Amy Orban's research on digital interactions, a staggering number of men miss the nuances in how women text. In the next 13 minutes, you're going to discover 12 key texting patterns that reveal her true feelings, including pattern number 7, which most men completely overlook when trying to understand her texting style. Pattern 1, the emoji economy. A 2022 study from the University of Kansas found that women who use more emojis in their texts, especially positive ones like smiling faces or hearts, tend to express higher levels of affection and interest. Imagine her sending you a string of playful emojis after a good conversation, a winking face, a blushing emoji, maybe even a subtle heart. This isn't just random decoration, it's a low-stakes way to signal warmth and that she's enjoying the interaction. Evolutionary psychology suggests this is a form of signaling positive intent, making you feel more comfortable and encouraging further connection. But pattern 2 is where things get a bit more subtle. Pattern 2, response speed fluctuations. Research from Stanford University indicates that inconsistencies in response times can be a powerful indicator. If she's usually quick to reply and then suddenly takes hours, it might signal a shift. Picture this: you've been texting back and forth easily for days, and then suddenly, her replies stretch into the evening, or even the next day. This isn't necessarily rejection, it could indicate she's busy, or she's subtly creating space to gauge your reaction. Neurochemically, this push and pull can create a sense of anticipation, making her more interesting. But don't mistake this for a sign she's losing interest. What comes next is pattern 3, the text length. Pattern 3, the length of her replies. A 2019 study published in Computers and Human Behavior analyzed text message length and its correlation with relationship satisfaction. Longer, more detailed responses typically indicate higher engagement and interest. Imagine receiving a short, one-word answer like "okay" versus a few sentences explaining her day or asking you a follow-up question. The latter shows she's invested time and thought into the conversation. This is rooted in social psychology. Longer messages demonstrate a willingness to invest more effort, which is a key indicator of attraction. But what if her texts are long, but lack substance? That leads us to pattern 4, the conversational depth. Pattern 4, conversational depth versus small talk. Research suggests that women who are genuinely interested will steer conversations towards deeper topics. If her texts are consistently superficial, weather, work, generic pleasantries, without probing into your thoughts or feelings, it might signal a lack of deeper attraction. Picture her asking about your passions, your dreams, or your opinions on a meaningful topic, rather than just "how was your day?" This taps into attachment theory. Deeper conversations build emotional intimacy. She's testing the waters to see if there's a genuine connection beyond the surface. But sometimes, what she doesn't say is just as important. This brings us to pattern 5, the questions she asks. Pattern 5, the nature of her questions. A study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that women who ask more personal and probing questions are often signaling a desire for a deeper connection. If her questions are all about logistics, "what time are you free?" or surface-level facts, it's different from her asking about your values, your fears, or your aspirations. Imagine her asking, "what's something you're really proud of?" versus, "are you busy Friday?" The former shows a genuine curiosity about who you are as a person, indicating attraction. From an evolutionary standpoint, this is about assessing compatibility and potential for a long-term bond. But beyond the questions, consider her tone. That leads to pattern 6, the tone of her texts. Pattern 6, the tone and playfulness. A 2021 analysis of digital communication found that a playful, teasing, or lighthearted tone in texts often indicates comfort and attraction. If her messages are always serious and direct, it might suggest she sees you more as a friend or colleague. Think about receiving texts laced with humor, gentle teasing, or inside jokes. This creates a positive emotional experience, fostering connection. Psychologically, playfulness signals a lack of threat and an openness to intimacy. It's her way of building rapport and seeing if you can match her vibe. But sometimes, the absence of something is a clue. This leads us to pattern 7, the use of punctuation. Pattern 7, punctuation as a signal. This one is subtle, but research from linguistics suggests that the overuse of exclamation points or, conversely, the complete lack of punctuation can reveal a lot. A study in the Journal of Communication noted that excessive exclamation points can indicate enthusiasm and excitement, often linked to attraction. Conversely, a woman who consistently uses no punctuation might be perceived as more reserved or even dismissive. Imagine receiving a text, "Great. Talk soon," versus "Great, talk soon." The first feels more engaged and eager. This isn't about grammar perfection, it's about the emotional subtext conveyed through how she chooses to punctuate. But what about the direction of the conversation? That leads to pattern 8, who initiates. Pattern 8, who initiates the conversation. A consistent pattern of her initiating texts is a strong indicator of interest. If she's the one reaching out first, even for mundane things, it means she's thinking about you and wants to connect. Picture her sending a good morning text or a thinking of you message out of the blue. This is a clear signal of attraction, as she's actively investing her time and energy into maintaining contact. Social exchange theory suggests that active initiation is a form of social investment, signaling a desire to build a stronger bond. But if you're always the one starting the conversation, it might mean she's more passive or less invested. This leads us to pattern 9, the response to your initiation. Pattern 9, her response to your initiation. When you initiate a text, how does she respond? If she engages enthusiastically, asks follow-up questions, and keeps the conversation flowing, it's a positive sign. Conversely, if her replies are short, delayed, or she consistently ends the conversation quickly, it might indicate less interest. Imagine you text her about your day, and she replies with a detailed anecdote and asks you about yours. This shows she's receptive and wants to continue the dialogue. This aligns with principles of reciprocity in relationships. She's mirroring your effort. It suggests she values the interaction and wants to build on it. But what if the conversation feels forced? That leads to pattern 10, the virtual intimacy. Pattern 10, virtual intimacy and personal details. Research indicates that sharing personal details, vulnerabilities, or intimate thoughts via text is a strong indicator of trust and attraction. If she's confiding in you about her struggles, her dreams, or even just sharing slightly more personal anecdotes, she's building a deeper connection. Picture her sharing a personal story about her childhood or a secret fear she has. This level of self-disclosure is a significant step in building emotional intimacy. From a psychological perspective, it's a sign she feels safe and values your presence in her life, indicating she sees you as more than just a casual acquaintance. But what about her availability? That leads to pattern 11, scheduling. Pattern 11, scheduling and availability. When you suggest meeting up, how does she respond? If she's eager to schedule and proposes specific times or alternatives, it's a strong positive signal. If she consistently deflects, offers vague excuses, or seems difficult to pin down, it might mean she's not prioritizing a real-world connection. Imagine you ask her out, and she replies, "Yes, I'd love to. How about Thursday evening, or maybe Saturday afternoon?" This shows proactive interest. It's a direct indicator that she's not just interested in texting, but in developing the connection further. This is crucial because it shows her willingness to invest time and effort beyond the digital realm, moving past mere texting. This leads us to the final pattern, which is often overlooked when she is losing interest. Pattern 12, the we versus I pronoun shift. A subtle but powerful indicator comes from how she refers to future plans. If she starts using we when discussing future activities or hypotheticals, "We should check out that new exhibit," or "We'd probably enjoy that concert," it signifies a mental inclusion and a desire for shared experiences. This is a significant step beyond casual conversation. It indicates she sees you as a potential partner in future endeavors. Think about the shift from "I want to go" to "we should go." This psychological cue suggests she's envisioning a future where you are part of it, a strong sign of attraction and developing feelings. Now, let's tie it all together. So, what does her texting style really reveal? It's a complex tapestry woven from emoji use, response times, message length, conversational depth, the nature of her questions, her tone, punctuation, initiation patterns, engagement levels, personal disclosures, and future scheduling. These aren't just random habits, They're psychological signals rooted in attraction and connection. You've learned to decode the subtle language of her texts, moving beyond assumptions to understanding her true feelings. Now you know what to look for. But knowing the signs is only half the equation. What you do next is what actually matters. Subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown, because